Hey, nice. They actually give us a warning ahead of time. This is great.
Who's ready to seize themselves?
The old gods have forsaken us. Get ready for seizures.
So, Odallus is a bit of an interesting thing. I would say it's less difficult than Oniken and more story-driven, but we see less cutscenes, which is strange. But I do like this game more than Oniken, and we'll see why in a bit. For now, have the blood ritual that starts the fucking Midnight Carnival.
You should have died. You should have died. Odallus, Fort Worth.
I love that title screen.
I do miss scrolling graphics like that.
Veteran mode.
Aww.
That mode hurts.
You're like, this one's not as hard, but I won't do it.
So this is the story of a man called Haggis, the not-so-black swordsman.
A man named Sheep Guts.
Yeah. I actually wasn't aware of this until, like, way after I played the game, but as I mentioned before, Joymasher loves 80s anime, and this is their cheeky way of saying, we're copying Berserk.
Good one to copy, so...
Yeah. Though I do like how they make it their own thing. It's not entirely Berserk, but you can tell it's Berserk. Also, I do like the design of the main character. You never really see a, Oh, I always get these two mixed up. Scottish? I think it's Scottish. Somebody's gonna correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, somewhere up there.
The Arctic.
Yes.
The penguin.
Someone lit fireworks down there, didn't they?
I left the oven on. So...
Super Ghost and Ghouls?
Not necessarily. It's more Castlevania 3, if anything.
I do like that.
Jogging.
I do like the color palette of this game, because you could tell they were actually trying to go for a more accurate version. As I mentioned before, it's a bit like Castlevania 3, but the color scheme reminds me more of... I think it's ActRaiser? I want to say it's ActRaiser. It's been a long time since I played SNES games, which is... This is trying to be 16-bit more than anything.
You know what's kind of ironic about this game is that those flames in the background are pretty accurate, because also in Dallas during the summer, you can't help but look up at the fire in the sky and go, oh, Dallas.
Travis is gonna be milking that one joke this whole LP.
Yeah, also, we saw it before and we saw it again. The sub-weapon, the axe, it's a very weak weapon, only does 1 damage, but it has a hidden trait that not many people see. If you throw it against a wall, it bounces back and it still does damage, so if you throw it just right, you can do 2 damage and kill most anything. Too bad we're not going to be using it much, because the axe is still kind of garbage.
Is there fall damage in this?
No. Haggis has really good kneecaps. Now, I don't know if they advertise this in the Steam store page, but much like the recent trend in Souls games, this game does have a currency that you spend to get stuff. In veteran mode, you do lose it on death, but for normal mode, you don't. And it's Souls, because this is a very black fantasy story.
I do like how the sample rate for that voiceover was extremely low, just like a game of the time would be.
Yeah. I had half a mind to narrate these, like, using my voice low sampled, but that would be too much effort.
I just enjoy that you're having pleasant banter with a guy as the world is burning in flames around you.
Yeah, it's not the world, just our hometown and our missing son. Also, I get a little bored, so if you ever see me just turning in place, yeah.
Have a pleasant banter while the world is burning.
Now, the thing about this game is that while I say it's easier, I've played this game a lot. I actually had to cut out the file select screen, that way I wouldn't spoil anything. So I play a little fast and loose. So there's gonna be some deaths just by merit of I keep thinking I have all the power-ups and I don't. I don't think we have a death this video, but when I do eventually die, it's gonna be in funny and dumb ways.
I would hope so.
An interesting thing about the sword in this game is that, much like in Zelda 2...
You use it as a bat.
Well, yeah. But standing slash and ducking slash each hit in different directions, so oftentimes you'll know when to hit the standing or ducking slash. It's mostly for demolition more than anything. Also, here comes our first sub-boss.
Oh, my nipple.
This guy is not too threatening. He telegraphs his moves a lot, but if you get hit by the net, you're gonna have to mash your way out or else you're gonna get hit by his big hammer. He just falls over in a pool of blood.
That audio sample sounded like a lot of pain.
I do like the detail in some of the sprite work here, because you could see they added a little bit of detail of, oh, this guy's a butcher, he killed 4 innocent people, and now he's after you. Some of the death animations in this game are pretty good too, like, those spear dudes are the only one that do that drifting slat, like cut in half slash like you would see in most animes at the time.
Pretty much like everyone turned into ghosts, because everyone has that kind of ghost look to them.
Yeah, you can see that. That's probably why when they die they turn into currency for meat husks. Also, the plot is fun, but not really important. I'm sorry if I speed through it way too fast for some people to read, but it's interesting. I can type it out in the thread if you want. I'll have to ask for that, though. But here's our first boss.
Just for added effect, extra long neck.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned before, the axe has that property, and it's only really useful here because you get 2 hits on that head. 3 if you're also swinging the sword, which will speed up the boss fight quite quickly. But the idea is you want to hit the head long enough so his stomach cavity opens up, and then you can beat on his chest.
Oh, my ulcer!
Now, the weird thing about this thing is that I always beat the boss in 2 cycles. I don't know if you could do it in 1. And I don't think I've ever seen it done in 1. Then again, there aren't many speedruns for this game, which kind of makes me sad, so I haven't had the chance to look it up.
I liked the text for the shard there. You got a reward. You don't feel good about it.
Yeah. That's pretty much the whole motif of this game, is that not everything is all cut and dry. There's some stuff underneath the veil. Also, this is probably one of my favorite songs in the game. I always found the music for this game to be really good. Joymasher really nailed it with this game. As we fight the flesh pillars here. I don't care. God, I'm still surprised. I'm still kind of reeling because before I did this LP, I actually did a run of this game on veteran mode, and oh man, that difficulty is a kick in the balls. Much like in Oniken, we see a little bit of other games and design philosophy in this, more specifically Mega Man there. And here's a little secret.
What?
We'll see those later in the LP.
Is that how you get the dog ending?
Maybe. Now, while the main map looked linear in nature, the levels themselves are actually quite, what's it called? Non-linear in nature. Yeah, thank you. I don't know how to talk. But yeah, there are splitting paths, secrets, all the like. It's pretty much a Metroidvania, but not really, just because you don't power up all that much. That's kind of why I go with Castlevania 3, because it has that kind of same design philosophy.
No.
This is probably the enemy that scares me the most in the game, just because you have to fight him one-on-one, and I don't like that. Yeah, we got a key, so what?
Is that your checkpoint?
Yeah, checkpoints are those bone pillars. They never really addressed them in-game, but neat little design there. Also, we got the torch. This is basically Ghost and Ghouls right here. What it does is, the flame, you throw it down at like a low angle and it goes on the ground and it does 1 damage per frame of animation. And if you time it just right, you can do a boatload of damage with the flame.
Okay.
Yeah, welcome to the laser pillar.
It's the vomit room.
Here we sell all the laser pillars for you. These aren't instant death, but they do hurt. Because I kinda stand on 1 foot over there. Now, for the sake of the LP, I mentioned it in the thread, but for the LP I'm doing 100% items, 100% secrets, all that good rot. So you don't have to do this, but this is... By doing this brick escort mission, you get one of the many upgrades in the game.
I like that the skulls in the background clue you in that there's gonna be a shot coming.
Yeah, it's Oniken did the same thing in the Brain Palace level with the giant fuck-off laser. But yeah, there's a little bit of a long mission to get this brick all the way to the other side of the map, but it's worth it.
This does feel like you're going off the beaten path quite a bit.
Yeah. If we took another route from the main path, we would be skipping this entire thing and probably doing the level about 5 minutes less. Also, we got a heart container there, but you only get half a heart per heart container. Really strange. Now, I keep mentioning this before, and I'm going to mention it again. This area specifically reminds me of Shinobi 3, and I love it.
So I kind of figured out at least what the chicken leg is for. What's the amulet that you have? Is that your lives when you have 4 of them, or is that some kind of used item?
Yeah, those are lives. It's basically 1-ups. I don't think you actually need 1-ups all that much. The game's not that hard on your first playthrough, but in in veteran mode, yeah. In veteran mode, the developers got mean, and I needed a lot of 1-ups.
Your lives do look kind of like just a tombstone on a rope.
Yeah, kinda. Now, one thing this game does to track your percentage completion is that it tracks secrets. One of them, usually using the obvious breakable wall tile set, is typically just a chest filled with currency, and I am not sure if that counts towards secret completion. Like, I know a lot about the game's design and level design. I don't know much about how it calculates things like completion or other things.
Tell us in the comments below.
Yes, please. Gonna go all the way back. Now, if you noticed before, when I went back outside, we were all the way back out where we saw the UFO. If we had just gone to the right, we would have gone here and not done the entire flame pillar hallway. Now wait here, because I don't know where the elevator spawns in, because I'm smart. Luckily, the elevator doesn't take too long. Long enough for you to notice, though.
I like you duck so your character has a good line of sight on it.
Yeah. I'll get to you eventually, elevator.
Go, go, go!
Yeah, I always do that whenever I get impatient. I think this is what my 4th playthrough of the game. Ugh.
3 too many, am I right?
Hey!
Nah. I can still play this game and not have fun with it. I'm actually debating doing a no upgrade run and a speed run just on my free time.
I love that phrase, drinking in our ignorance and bathing in our blood. That's metal as shit.
Yeah, I mentioned the story is non-consequential. It's still pretty good. That, though, was one of the secrets that does count towards calculation. That is basically the backstory of the game. Plays a lot like... It has a lot of similarities to Berserk. It uses a lot of the same story path that Berserk set up of the world was dark, now it's light, now it's gonna be dark again. Good job.
It also kind of reminds me a bit of Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know why I went to Berserk.
Well, Berserk counts too, but just the kind of story where it's kind of reverse, because at least in Conan, I'm not Conan. He was
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah,
Barbarian.
in the story of Conan O'Brien, the Barbarian. He was trying to get revenge for his mother and father. This one seems like you're trying to get revenge for your son.
You're trying to find your son, but yeah, it's basically they took my boy and I'm getting revenge. Also, we got the power bracelet.
They took my boy, Andy Richter.
Now, a neat thing about push blocks is that they destroy vines. Doesn't really have all that much importance in normal mode, but in veteran mode, they actually change up the level design to where there are many puzzles that require knowing that and finding the block. Also, I just didn't care for time at that point.
Your patience is terrible.
Yeah. Call it practicing for a speedrun, okay?
Learn to enjoy pain.
Yes, pain is good. Now, this area has really good parallax scrolling. I love it. Also a bit of foreshadowing.
Hey, bada.
Yeah, that knight is cheeky. He always hits me. I can never figure out a way to kill him without damaging myself. Also, coming up is going to be a Twin Peaks reference. I was actually unaware of this until I told a friend about this game and said, "Oh yeah, that's a Twin Peaks reference." And I didn't know what Twin Peaks was at the time, so after that I just watched the entirety of Twin Peaks. Fire Walk With Me is weird. For whatever reason, back in September and October of 2015, there were a lot of video games that were quoting Twin Peaks for whatever reason. You had D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die, which is obvious because Swery65 is a big Twin Peaks nut.
Despite the fact that he admits that, like, he never admitted that Deadly Premonition was a big ripoff of Twin Peaks.
Yeah. You also had Life is Strange, which was basically Twin Peaks. And then you got this game where it uses the line Fire Walk With Me as a clue, which is kind of neat. Good way to use a callback, in my opinion.
So basically the world has converged into this one LP to tell me, finally watch Twin Peaks, you twat.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, watch Twin Peaks. It's pretty good.
You twat.
Yes. Now, I believe at some point I'm gonna go back and realize I did something I already did. Yeah, here we go. I went back because I thought I didn't get the second statue, but I did. Now here's a clever little puzzle.
Who has injured themselves?
Not 3.
It's the one in the middle.
Yeah. If you haven't already guessed, it's basically a sequence puzzle. Not all that hard, but I like it just because it's a neat, clever little thing to test the players and reward them for their hard-earned time. Also, I can't hit a button with a sword. What's wrong with me? Another interesting thing to note about this game, if you notice, this game is delightfully in 16:9. It is played in widescreen, but it's technically not, because the sidebar information, while always updating, is never relevant to the game, or it's never involved in the play area of the game. So even if it looks like it's widescreen, it's still not, which is strange in my opinion. Because I could probably get away with just putting a still image of my inventory at the time and no one would notice. Yeah, Castlevania joke. Good job, guys.
I mean, the fact that it's widescreen does have that benefit from old school games. Like before, if you wanted to look at your inventory, you'd have to pause, look at it, switch, and then go back to the game. This way, you can just multitask.
Yep. Now, here's where the game splits up. At the end near the merchant, we could go on, fight the boss, beat the level, and go on to 3-1. Or we could go here, do the Fire Walk With Me puzzle, and go to 2-2.
You get shot by a laser.
Yeah. And the item you get in 2-2 can also let you do 3-2 and 4-2, but you have to wait until the very end of the game to do 1-2, which is bizarre in my opinion.
Very, very super Ghost and Ghouls.
Really? This is gonna sound weird, but I never played the Ghost and Ghouls series as a kid.
Well, it was infamous because there's a point in the game that you could not beat the game the first way through. You'd go through all the levels with its difficulty, get to the boss, and it says, "Oh, you can't fight the boss unless you beat the game again."
Oh yeah, that I have heard of, and I mean, the game kind of does something like that. I don't think I showed off in the LP itself because I'm very narrow-minded and just do things without thinking. But there is a point where it says, yes. Oh no,
No, geez.
But yeah, there is a point in the game where you get to what you think is the end, and they tell you, nope, take another lap. But yeah, next time we're actually going to do 2-2, an area that you're technically not supposed to do yet.